Hi guys, Steve here, and in this video I'm going to show you the best ways to tame a phoenix. But before I do, please like, subscribe, click the bell notifications and share this video to help me out on YouTube, because it's took 4 days to make and test everything, so you can tame a phoenix easily. Thank you very much. Let's start with the mechanics. You'll only find phoenix on maps that have heat waves, like Scorched Earth. A phoenix will only spawn when the heatwave event happens, and you'll only find one per map. When the heatwave stops, the phoenix will despawn and its ashes will fall to the floor. They'll vanish quickly. Because you can't see it, you obviously can't tame it anymore, but you need to remember where the ashes land, because that's where the phoenix will spawn from next time as a heatwave event. I'll just start one now. The ashes will reappear where it fell. Then the phoenix will spawn 5 wall tiles up from where the ashes landed. The phoenix doesn't like to be on the ground, so it flies up into the air. I'll follow it up to a certain height, which is its default, and it just flies around until the heatwave event finishes and it'll just despawn again. Its ashes will land on the ground, then on the next heatwave it will spawn from the ashes again. Then that repeats and repeats and so on. So one of the hardest things to do is to search your map to try and find the phoenix in the first place. Okay, to tame a phoenix you'll need to hit it with fire. But let's go over first the things not to do. I don't want you wasting your time. Don't try and shoot it with flame arrows. The phoenix flies around quickly, it's really hard to shoot, and you can't consistently hit the phoenix with flame arrows, so its taming efficiency will keep dropping down. Flame arrows aren't very effective at taming it. Plus you'll probably need thousands of them and loads of bows just to tame a low level phoenix. Even on the back of a griffin flying after it is a total pain, so you've got zero chance running after it trying to shoot it from the ground. Then on top of all that you've got a timer ticking down of when the heatwave event ends, so every second you're not hitting it with fire is wasted. And it's just despawned. Another thing not to waste your time on is a flamethrower. Again, the phoenix is really manoeuvrable, so it's hard to hit. The range on the flamethrower isn't that great, but the worst thing about it is the taming efficiency from a flamethrower isn't that good, and its durability goes down really quickly every time you use it, so it breaks fast and you're going to go through loads of them. I'll give you a quick demonstration under perfect circumstances with the phoenix trapped in a cage. I've almost used up one entire flamethrower and I'm on a ×4 server. I'll fly up to it. And it's only done 3.5%. So work out how many flamethrowers that'll take to get it to 100%. And it's just a level 60 phoenix. And the fire arrows test, I'm coming up to 50 of them, but I've been going at it a lot longer. I'll fly up there, and that's just over 8%. Another method I wouldn't bother trying is to chase after it with a wyvern. The phoenix is just way too manoeuvrable, and the wyvern's got a terrible turning circle. The wyvern's fire is the best way to tame it, but every second you're not breathing fire onto it is a second wasted. With a heatwave timer ticking down, you can't afford that wasted time. Plus, even if you put loads of points into stamina, every time you use your breath you lose more, so you're going to run out of it eventually and you're going to have to land. If you're going to try this method, then you're going to need at least 3 people in a queue breathing fire onto it one after another. Then the others keep it going as a wyvern that's run out of stamina has to land, and cycle through each wyvern while the other one gets his stamina back. Because as you can see in single player, when I have to land, the phoenix flies off into the distance. Takes a while for my stamina to get back. The heat wave ends. The phoenix has despawned and I've got no idea where its ashes landed. So yeah, I really wouldn't bother trying this solo. The bigger group you can get breathing fire on it, the better. So I came to the conclusion no matter what method I use, chasing it is a pain, so I'll look into trapping it. But you have to know the cage mechanics. I have a phoenix trapped in a cage. The heat event is about to end. The phoenix despawns, but it drops its ashes on top of a cage. I'm going to start the heat event up again. The ashes reappear, but as you can see the phoenix spawns up above the cage and it escapes and then flies free. Mere mortals would just build a cage on top of the existing one before the second heatwave hits, but they don't have the power of Nooblets, so click subscribe and you can have it too. But keep building a tower up wasn't good enough for me. I was going to find a way of keeping it in one cage without having to build more on top. First of all, I tried giant hatch frames, but that didn't work. When I tried blocking the area above with a solid piece of metal, and that didn't work. Then at the end of the first day I came up with the idea that actually worked. I made all other phoenix traps obsolete. Instead of putting ceiling tiles at the top, just change them for hatch frames. And that stops a phoenix ash spawning above the roof when the phoenix despawns. The heatwave ends, the ash drops onto the floor. The cage will need to be 5 wall tiles high, because that's the height the phoenix spawns back in at. Any lower and the phoenix will spawn in above the roof and escape. But as you can see, no matter how many times the phoenix despawns or spawns back in, it will always remain inside the trap. With the hardest mechanic worked out, I went about working how to trap the phoenix. Because the phoenix doesn't like to be near the ground, and it'll always fly up at the level it likes, its default height, my first trap was at up and under. I would kite the phoenix down to the trap, draw it underneath the cage, and the phoenix would fly up and trap itself underneath the cage roof. Because it wants to fly up away from the ground, the trap shouldn't need any lower side walls. The bottom walls need to be 5 tiles high, because that's the height the phoenix spawns in at, and I built another wall on top of it, making it 6 high. You can just fit a wyvern underneath it, but it's a bit of a tight fit. But the main reason why it doesn't work with a wyvern is that it's too slow at turning round, so you can't position the phoenix where you want it enough. That's why it's better to use a smaller flyer. So I'm going to use a pterodon with loads of stamina. After you've found your phoenix, try and kite it back to your trap. You can try pecking it, but I'm not sure if that damages its taming efficiency. Here I'm using rare flowers, and the flowers only last a short time. You use them once, then there's like a debuff to stop the phoenix being attracted to you for a short while. Just keep flying near it and using them. It usually squawks when it comes after you. Right, land underneath and then fly up when you think it's under. Phoenix will fly up and it's got itself trapped. Right, I'm going to land this on the roof. Wait until the rare flower buff goes and it loses any aggro. That should be okay. Phoenix doesn't like to be near the ground, so it's constantly trying to fly up. I'll just park my pterodon over here where it won't get flamed. And then you have your 2 wyverns in position. Go underneath it and start breathing fire on it. Now, isn't that better and more controlled? I'm not flying around. I can constantly breathe fire onto the phoenix. Moves around a bit in this cage though. I'll have to sort that out for Mark 2. One toasty phoenix. Right, that one's out of stamina. Bring up the next one. You only need 2 wyverns. As you're using one, the other one's getting its stamina back. Keep breathing fire on it. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. Oh, that's almost done. See, much quicker. Switch to the other wyvern. Let's go a bit closer so you can see its taming bar. There we go, not bad. Almost there. Right, I could tame it now, but I want to show you what happens when it despawns and turns into ash. Right, the heat wave's about to end. There we go. Phoenix will despawn, turn to ash. Goes invisible. It's directly under my cage. I'm going to start a heat wave again. The ash reappears. And the Phoenix spawns 5 wool towers high. In the corner again. Exactly where it was. And just carry on breathing fire on it. When it despawns, it saves its taming progress to when it respawns again. Just breathe on it a few more times. And there we go. Tamed our first Phoenix. It's a bit tricky to get a Phoenix underneath a cage. There's a small possibility it could escape underneath it. So let's move on to Mark 2. The in and out cage. Right, this is 2 wide by 6 deep. Put ramps at the end so I can easily get in and out. It's 5 wall towers high. I'm using metal door frames. You can build this in stone if you want. I just wanted something to last. The hatch frames for ceilings. Then in between each segment, 2 door frames down, so the Phoenix will get trapped in each segment. And that should help stop it moving around. I put another door in the centre, so I can trap it one side or the other. And that's my fly-through trap. So I fly in one end, kite the Phoenix in, fly at the other and close the door behind me, trapping it behind. Let's try it out. Go find your Phoenix and kite it down to your trap. Eat a wildflower so it follows you. Make sure you've cleared all the other flies away from you, or those will attack you as well. Wildflowers don't last that long. Is it going to go through? Flying just in case. Nope, it's lost aggro again. So I won't be able to taunt it with the flowers for a while. Just keep eating them though. Flies back up to its standard height. There you are. Just give me a little love tap. Not too bothered about that. That should be close enough to the trap. Fly in, and then up. The Phoenix gets trapped inside. Go around and close the doors. There we are. We've got a Phoenix trapped. Close the middle one. Lock it on this side. And that Phoenix isn't going anywhere. Right. Now position the wyverns. Move a pterodon over to his side so we don't set it on fire. Toasty pterodon wings. Move the other wyvern round. Get that into position. So it can breathe fire right into the slot. Let's start toasting it. It'll fly away when it starts to get tamed. This trap's much better than the first one. It's not moving around, so there's no possibility of it escaping. Right, stamina's almost gone. Right, that's empty. Jump through. Got another wyvern. And carry on from this side. That way you don't have any downtime. Try and make sure your wyverns are lined up to the slot so it can breathe fire all the way through. That one's out of stamina. Round to the other. Those side door frames are working well. Locking it into this segment. Give you a view of me toasting it from the outside. Try and get closer, see how much it's tamed. That's coming along nicely. Out of stamina again. Carry on with the other. You're not going anywhere, mate. Alright, I could carry on until I've tamed it, but I want to show you again what happens when the heatwave finishes. It turns into ash, and confirm to you that respawning back in the cage works perfectly. So 20 seconds later, sky's changing. There we go, despawns. Ash lands on the floor. Go inside, you can walk through it. It's a bit too high. Maybe I should put a ramp there. Okay, let's start the heatwave again. The ash reappears, and the phoenix spawns in, 5 tiles up, still trapped in the cage. Lovely jubbler. Let's carry on taming it. I've repositioned both wyverns next to this slot opening. I've skipped forward 1 minute. It's just repeating my brief fire on it. And there you are, second phoenix tamed. Let's call you hot stuff. Now, even though this trap is very good, it's got one huge downside. And that's because the phoenix can spawn anywhere on the map. So if you build one trap and try and kite a phoenix to it, it would take forever for you to kite a phoenix to the trap. It might take multiple heat waves for you to do it, if you're even able to. And it could be hours between each heat wave. Or you could build loads of these traps all around the map, but that's going to take up a lot of resources. So let's take what we've learnt, go mobile, and I'll show you Mark 3. I've built a trap on the back of a Quetzal. Now I've not changed the number of objects you can have on the back of a platform saddle, but I had just enough to make it work. 2x2 foundations right at the very back. I put 6 down originally and then deleted the first 2. Dino gates at the front. You've got to build your doorway sides 5 high again. The hatch frames at the top, then 2 doorways down at the front, block that off. This side of a wall I did as a dino gate because it only takes up 2 objects instead of many if I'd done it doorways. Then this side I have to remove a tile so I had enough. That goes to a ceiling, then a ramp down so I can get to the saddle. And then dismount the saddle, jump on the ramp, get inside the cage, and that leads to the wyvern platform at the back. I had to delete one of the ceilings so I had enough tiles. Then get on your wyvern, fly around, try and land on the platform. You might have to have a couple of attempts. There we go, that's fine. And get off your wyvern. Get on your Quetzal. You've got a mobile taming cage. What you've got to do now is wait for a heat wave, then go find yourself a phoenix. Of course, put most of your points into stamina so your Quetzal can keep in the air. And go fly after a phoenix. As soon as it goes in the cage, stop flying forward or it'll fly out the back. It'll just fly through your cage. That looks good. Got a new wyvern. Start breathing fire on it. Now realistically, you'll only be able to tame low level phoenix this way, if you're just by yourself. We can go for higher level ones if you've got friends helping you by breathing fire in from the side. Either way, trapping a phoenix like this is a lot easier to tame than flying after it. This phoenix is level 30 on a ×4 server, so I'll be able to do this by myself. I suppose you could lower the cage and put another platform at the side, so you could have another wyvern there. Then when you run out of stamina you can swap back and forth, or have a friend on there helping as well. As you can see, because you're high enough, when you get off your Quetzal saddle, it won't fly down to the ground. And it will hover there for quite a while. But you still will need to get off your wyvern, go around to the side, get on your Quetzal again, just to reset it. Otherwise the Quetzal will glide to the ground if you leave it too long. So keep getting off and doing that every few minutes. Now it's going to take a while to find the phoenix, and you can breathe fire on it for a little bit, but the heat wave should be ending soon. There we go. Now because the cage is 5 tiles high and it's got hatch frames for the roof, the ash will land on top of the Quetzal, and as long as you don't move it will stay where it is inside the cage. All you got to do now is mount the Quetzal saddle and just stay there until the next heat wave, which may take a little while. That's why you're going to need a high level Quetzal and stick every single point into stamina. I'll open the Quetzal stats. That's how much I've got, and it's very slowly ticking down. Am I going to make it until the next heat wave? Anyway, it's your choice if you want to do that or not. I won't be waiting around. I've already spent days on this video. I'm going to go inside and activate the heat wave to show you that Ash is still inside the cage. And it reappears, and you have a phoenix spawn above it. Still trapped. Then just carry on breathing fire on it. But this time you've got the entire period of heat wave to tame it. I'll skip forward 30 seconds. And there we go. Another phoenix tamed. Then just dismount. Get on your Quetzal. Make sure you don't drop off the end. It's always good to have a parachute. Then just fly back to base. Make sure the phoenix is on follow. Now we come to the final and best way to tame a phoenix, combining everything we've learnt up to now. You might want to get an extra pair of socks because I'm about to blow yours off. It's going to take you a while to find the phoenix when the heat wave starts, even if you knew where it was last time. So what you do is follow it. You won't be taming it this time, as you'll be taming it on the next heat wave. Keep next to the phoenix. You're waiting for the heat wave to finish and for the phoenix to despawn. The sky's changing, meaning heat wave's about to end. As soon as the phoenix turns to ash, dive down and take a note of where the ash was. Take a screenshot if you have to. Then place one foundation down. If you try and place it over the ash, the foundation will show up as red. Move it back a bit and then place it, and the foundation should be exactly next to the ash. Right, that's the hard part done. I'm going to get some door frames. And I'm going to build those 6 tiles high. Now remember, a phoenix spawns 5 tiles high, so I want to take into consideration the unlevel ground. So get on your pterodon, put top one on. Then use one hatch frame for the roof. Then build the door frames down the side. I'm going to go 3 down. Reposition yourself. Do the front. Land, and then put one hatch underneath. So the phoenix should spawn right in the centre of that, if I place the foundation correctly. Place your bets, have I or not? That's all you need to build a cage for your phoenix. As you know, with the hatch frames at the top, the ash will fall through, land on the ground below, and when the heatwave starts, phoenix will spawn inside the cage. Hopefully, if you've done it right. Next, go back and get your wyverns. I'm going to bring 2 of them. And set them up facing the open slots. Then all you have to do is wait for the next heatwave to arrive. When it does, the ash will spawn. And as you can see, a phoenix will spawn inside the cage. And go on your wyvern, start breathing fire on it. Without trying to kill your bird. Let's move you out of the way. We don't want any crispy wings. Now you've got the entire length of a heat wave to tame your phoenix. It's not going anywhere. And if it's a really high level, it will just despawn, drop to the ground, and then respawn back in the cage again. This is level 60. And as you can see, this is the easiest way to tame a phoenix. So much so, everyone will be able to have one. As long as you've got a wyvern. Right, there's nothing more complicated about this. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Rain will be coming soon to end a heatwave. I want to show you the phoenix despawning, the ash landing on the ground, and the phoenix spawn back in its cage again. Now because you've got hatch frames for the roof and the floor, above and below the phoenix, the ash will drop to the ground instead of spawning on top of a roof, so there's no need at all to build a structure any higher. There we go, it's starting to rain, the ash has landed on the ground, it vanishes right below the trap. So you know, when next heat wave, the phoenix will spawn right in the trap. Skip forward to that. Ash reappears, and the phoenix spawns in the trap nicely. Look at that. No need to build a tower up another 5 tiles. Now I've shown you that, let's finish off the taming. There we go, another phoenix tamed. I think this is the easiest and most convenient way to tame a phoenix, and the trap for it's really cheap to build as well. Once the phoenix has turned into ash and you've built a trap next to it, you can go off and do something else because the phoenix will just stay there as ash. But you'll need to be next to the trap for when the heatwave starts again, because you'll need to be in render distance to see the phoenix spawn inside the cage. You can just have somebody AFK nearby if you want, but somebody has to be close to it for when the next heatwave starts. I'll end this heatwave and show you what happens if no one's near it. The ashes land on the ground, so you know it's definitely below the trap. I'm going to move outside of render distance. I'm going to activate the heatwave, so you know the phoenix would have spawned. Then move into render distance next to the trap. And as you can see, the phoenix isn't there, because no one was there to see it spawn in. You can look around and it's not escaped a trap or anything. Got an wyvern. Breathe fire on it. Doesn't seem to be hitting anything. I'll get off and end the heatwave again. Now it looks like the phoenix isn't there, but once the heatwave ends, you can see it despawns again. So remember, you need to be next to the cage for when the heatwave activates, otherwise you won't be able to see the phoenix. Now I'm going to reactivate the heatwave again, and the phoenix spawns into the cage. As well as being next to the cage for when the heatwave starts up again, keep in mind that once the phoenix does spawn, I wouldn't risk moving away from it too far out of render distance, otherwise the cage might despawn and the phoenix will probably escape. You could risk moving out of render distance for a short time, but if you spend too long away from it, the phoenix will likely just fly away, because the cage around it wouldn't have rendered in. Right, we've tamed a phoenix, let's test it out. Left mouse button is to bite, right mouse button is to shoot fireballs. If you hold the jump button, the phoenix will start accelerating and I'll glide forward into super speed, but it takes up quite a lot of stamina. So you're going to have to spec into that. You can put raw meat in the phoenix inventory. Wait a little while. And that cooks it for you. It's like a mobile barbecue. So you never have to run out of cooked meat again. You can see it being cooked in the left side. There we go. Some cooked food. You can also drag metal over to its inventory, and it will slowly smelt that into metal ingots. And if you want to go farming, there we go, made metal. Its inventory is not huge though. For its food you need to feed it sulfur, so that might be a pain to get on some maps. There we go, it's eating away. Stamina goes up much quicker as well when it's been fed. You can't actually land a phoenix, it always stays hovering. I'll turn blaze targeting on. I suppose you help you target enemies when you flame them, but to be honest I'm not sure how that works. It doesn't seem to make any difference. I like the flame glide though. I'm leaving a whole row of barbecued animals behind. Seems the bigger animal it is, the more damage you do to it. Oh, that got completely wrecked. Those fireballs don't seem to be very effective. It's short range and looks like it leaves fire on the ground though, so it burns over time. The phoenix poops silica pills, which is nice. And the C key looks like it does a grab ability. Looks like it's going to pick something up. But instead, it seems to do like an AoE effect on the floor. Not sure what use that would be. Try and pick that sheep up. And it looks like, and it just damages it, look. If this video is helpful for you, which I'm sure it was, please like, subscribe, click the bell notifications and all, and share it with your friends. Testing and making a video like this takes most of a week, so if you'd like me to do more of them, please show your support. There's links to other videos at the end. Comment on what you would like to see. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again. Goodbye.